Hello, everyone.
Hi, Rob.
Hello, Rabbi.
Hi, Rabbi.
Hello, Mark. Hello. How's it? Who's there? Hello, Stephen. Who else? Louis there. Who's that? Hello, Les. I can't see you all. Let me just see if I can see you. Hello, Stevie. How are you doing, guys? It's nice to see you all. Hello. Hello, Anthony. Hello, Iva. How are you? How are you? It's nice to see you all. Good. Hello, Gabriel. I hope that you have a safe trip. Thank you for letting me know that you arrived safely. Shakur. I will just wait another few seconds for more people to join. And then we'll start the show, Be'ezrat Hashem. I will ask everyone then to mute themselves because there's noise in the background, and if there is noise in the background, it's actually I battle to focus. It's actually disturbs me. I'm very sensitive for noise in the background and still have to
muted.
You know what I'm saying? So if it's possible, just
Do I need a chumash for you or not tonight?
no, not tonight because there's no Parashat Shavua.
Yeah,
But
that's what I thought.
No, I'll tell you now what we're going to speak. I'm going to speak briefly about the days that between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. Very, very shortly, I'm going to speak about it quickly, and then I'm going to start moving to the festival that we are, please God, going to celebrate tomorrow night, and we'll try to explain a few things regarding that festival to be more meaningful for us. So, guys, I'm going to mute everyone, if you don't mind. I'm going to mute everyone, and only later on we'll have some time for question. You can unmute yourself. Okay, so בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. The show that we're going to speak today is about Sukkot. But before I'm going to start with what do you call it? With the show, I'm just allowing more people to join us. There's more and more people joining us, so I'm just allowing them to join because it's I think it's a new thing on Zoom that you can't just come everyone, it's for security. So, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. I would like to take a few seconds from our time, and actually we should give more time. And as you all know, yesterday we lost a great man, a special man, a man that we all never thought that gonna leave us. I mean, I know Rabbi Tenza only for 30 years. Some of you obviously know him for much more decades. It was a special man. And first of all, we're gonna dedicate that special show in his soul. And I personally owe him a lot because the first public talk was on Shavuot in 2010, the 7 days of Shavuot, the 7 days of Pesach. And Rabbi Tenza asked me to talk even more than 10 years ago, even more. And to stand in the front of Yeshiva College publicly, you know, it was very, very traumatic for me. And he encouraged me. 20 years ago, 25 years ago, he encouraged me to open the Hapa 7 Minyan. And he was behind me all the time. He never stopped me. He actually encouraged me all the time to move on. He was a very, very special man. And yesterday, when it was the eulogizing, I tell you the truth, after 2.5 hours, I couldn't take it anymore. My eyes was red. And it was very difficult for me to stay. I didn't even go on to the funeral. I just couldn't. I didn't have words. I wasn't myself. I was overwhelmed. And I just didn't want to believe that he left us. So there's nothing else to say, because whatever I say, it's not going to be even enough to honor Rabbi Tenza. So therefore, all I can say we actually lost a great man, a special man. I don't have any other word for him. So we're going to dedicate the show, please God, to his neshama, Rabbi Arav Avraham Haim ben Eliezer Yaakov. נשמתו תהיה צרורה בצור החיים, לעילוי נשמת אסתר קדן בת קציע, and our friend מרדכי בן רחמה ואסתר בת משה הלוי, ולרפואת חנה בת חיה, גולדה גיטו בת שולמית, לאה ליאורה בת מרים, ומנשה נג'י בן פרחה. Please God, רפואה שלמה. Okay. So what I'm going to speak first...
Rav, sorry, Rav, my mom is your tzad, it's first Chol Moed Sukkot. If it can be in her memory as well, it is Rochel Leah Bashmuel. Rochel Leah Bashmuel.
בת שמואל, נשמתה תהיה צרורה בצור החיים. Okay, so the days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, as you all know, we don't say Tahanun, we don't say Vidui. And why are they? So first of all, Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, born in a city of Tzfat in Eretz Israel. He born 486 years ago. And he explained that those days that between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, the holiness of those days, they are equivalent to Chol HaMoed. What does it mean and why? Why we don't say Tahanun? Why is it so special that those days are so holy? So, in the time of Shlomo HaMelech was the son of David HaMelech, and he built the first temple, the first Bet HaMikdash. In those days, he finished to build Bet HaMikdash. Hazal tell us, our sages tell us that Shlomo HaMelech finished to build the first Bet HaMikdash during those days between Yom Kippur to Sukkot. And that Anna that they built, obviously it was a Yom Tov, a great Yom Tov to have Bet HaMikdash built. What else we can ask? So in honor of that, we don't say Tahanun, and we see that those days, they are actually very, very special days. But now, that's about those days, but I would like to focus really about Sukkot. And I'm going to do with you, a matter of fact, I decided to make a different show. If you don't mind, I'm doing also Gemarot that I didn't done with you, because I always just give you the shiur almost ready. But today I'm going to try to learn with you in a different level that Kashya, Shaila, and Tirutzim. That means I'm going to ask questions, and we're going to try together to answer them Be'ezrat Hashem. So the Holy Torah tells us in Sefer Vayikra, in Parashat Emor, in chapter 23, verse 42. The Torah tells us something extraordinary. The Torah tells us, Basukot tishvu shivat yamim, kol ha'ezrach yishvu basukot. That means, if you look at the pshat of the dvarim, the Torah tells us that we have a mitzvah that we obligate to sit in a sukkah for 7 days. That's the Torah. And we have to understand, number one, why do we have to sit in a sukkah? The second question that we have to understand, why dafka 7 days? And the third question that we have to ask, Rabotai, why do we have to sit in a sukkah straight after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? Because if we celebrate Pesach in Nisan, that was straight after the Exodus, we should celebrate also Sukkot, because they immediately, from Egypt, they moved to the wilderness. And while they was in the wilderness, the Torah tells us that Ki basukot hoshafti et bnei Israel. That means that in a sukkah, in a shelter, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that he put the Jewish people. So we have 3 valid questions that we have to see, and then I'm actually going to bring the Rashba, Rabbi Shlomo ben Aderet. We're going to do a pilpul about the Gemarot and to understand. So first of all, we have to understand why, the first question that we ask, why are we sitting in a sukkah? Why? You want to tell me that because the Torah tells us just like this? Yes, because the Torah tells you to sit in a sukkah, you're obligated. But we have to understand what's hiding behind it. because that's what our Torah built. Our Torah doesn't tell us to be parrot. We have to follow the mitzvot. We obligated to keep the mitzvot and to do them, but we also have to understand why are we doing a mitzvah. So one of the mitzvot that we have in the Torah to sit on a sukkah. Why? So I'm going to bring, a matter of fact, 3 different ideas, and Be'ezrat Hashem to try to understand. So the first idea that I'm bringing, it's from the Gemara in Masechet Sukkah in page 11, folio 2. That means 4 or 5 sentence before the end of the page. There, Hazal asks, why are we sitting in a sukkah? So the first opinion that Hazal bring in the Gemara, Hazal say like this: Amar Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer explained, you know why are we sitting in a sukkah? Zecher le'ananei hakavod. It's mean to remind us the cloud of glory. Remember that, cloud of glory. We'll get to it. Rabbi Akiva say a different opinion. זכר לזה שכאשר היו בני ישראל במדבר, עשו לעצמם סוכות מפני מזג האוויר. That means that בני ישראל, the main reason that they sit in a sukkah, they build a shelter to protect them from the sun. That's on pshat of the dvarim. Rabbi Eliezer say, remember what we say? That's according to the cloud, to remember to the cloud of glory. Remember that, because we'll get to it. The third opinion is, and that's brought in Midrash Rabbah, on Sefer Bereshit, in Parsha, that means chapter 48, verse 10, there Hazal explained that the main reason that we're sitting in a sukkah is because when Avraham Avinu done his Brit Milah, after he got circumcised, that he done the circumcision to himself, that means he done his own Brit Milah, what happened? Avraham Avinu himself, sat outside and waited for visitors to come and see him. But because HaKadosh Baruch Hu took the sun out, it was too hot, not many people come to visit him. So what happened? HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that Avraham Avinu not going to give up on this mitzvah. What is he done? He took himself and he sat by the front of the tent. And when suddenly the angel appeared, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that Avraham Avinu not willing to give up, he's waiting for visitors to do Achnasat Orchim, what happened? He sent the 3 angels. And when the 3 angels came, Avraham Avinu, what did he say to him? Hisha'anu tahatzayet. What does it mean? Rest underneath the tree, because you have a tree that have big leaves and it was a lot of shelter. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, the Midrash said to him, when your children gonna leave Egypt, after they're gonna leave Egypt and they're gonna be in the wilderness, because you're giving shelter to my angel, I guarantee you, and I promise you, that I will give shelter to your own children. When? For the 40 years in the wilderness. So now we understand why we build the sukkah. But the second question that we have to understand, why Dafka 7 days? Shavuot is 1 day. So how come that we're celebrating 7 days? We have to ask. So I'm going to bring actually 2 different opinions. And the one is again from Midrash Rabbah, but that's on Sefer Bamidbar. And there he explained like this in chapter 1. He explained like this. By the way, also Rashi bring it on Sefer Bamidbar, in Parashat Bamidbar, Sefer Bamidbar, chapter 10, verse 34. Yes, There he explained, listen what he said. He explained that you know why you're sitting 7 days in a sukkah? Because was 7 cloud of glory. And immediately you're going to say, what do you mean 7 cloud of glory? I will explain. The cloud of glory that we have, it was 7 different clouds. It was one for each side of the world. That means north, south, east, west. The cloud of glory was protecting Bnei Israel from the north, from the south, from the east, and from the west. So that's 4 clouds. Then they have another 2 clouds of glory that used to protect them from the top and from the bottom. That's mean on top of them and in the bottom of them. Remember, we're speaking a lot of the cloud of glory. Remember that, because if you're not going to focus on a cloud of glory, you're going to miss later on the kashya that we have. And then that's so far 6. So where's number 7? It said that they used to have Amud Anan. Amud Anan was the cloud that used to level the road. When I said the road, the journey for Bnei Israel. And if was snake, scorpion, or anything, he used to level it. Basically, he used to straighten and level for Bnei Israel the earth. That means the ground that they have to go on it. That was the job of that cloud. So from here we see it's in honor of the 7 cloud of glory. Okay. Another opinion that I saw, it's in honor of the 7 ushpizin that we have. What it means 7 ushpizin? The 7 shepherds that taught and shepherd us during our difficulty until we become a nation and after we become a nation. And who they are? It's Avraham Avinu, it's Yitzhak Avinu, Yaakov Avinu. Okay, remember all of those? Then it was Moshe and Aaron that they took us from slavery to freedom, and actually because of them, and the merit of them, and the merit of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, we received the Torah. Then we have Yosef HaTzadik that kept and taught us what it means to become a tzaddik, how a person should be a tzaddik, and then David HaMelech, King David HaMelech. Though in the merit of those shepherds that shepherd and shape us as a nation to become Jewish nation, that's why we have to celebrate in honor of them 7 days of Sukkot. And that's called the Ushpizin. Ushpizin, a meaning of it is a visitors. Ushpizin, the simple word for it, visitors. And we know that in Sukkot, every day we have a different Ushpizin. What it means a different Ushpizin, and many people make a mistake. Many people think that every night only one Ushpizin come. Every night, the entire Ushpizin come, all the visitors, but in the head of them, like on the first night, Avraham Avinu. After that, come with him another 6 Ushpizin, another 6 visitors. The second night come Yitzhak Avinu. And with him come the other 6. On the third day, we say that it's Yaakov Avinu. And that's follow like that every night there is a different Ushpizin, different visitor, that he's the leader, and behind him come the rest of the 6 of the Ushpizin. So now we understand why Dafka 7 days of Pesach. But the main question that we have to understand, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu Dafka now decide that we're going to sit in a Sukkot? So the Shulchan Aruch bring a very simple idea. When I say simple, very easy to understand. And he said like this. He said that the main reason is if we sit in summer in a Sukkot, the Gentile will say, obviously, they sit in a sukkah. You know why? Because it's hot. So they want a shelter, so they sit in a sukkah. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, you know when I'm going to bring you Sukkot? Dafka, when the seasons start changing. In Eretz Israel, the season now, moving from summer to autumn. And although at the moment in Eretz Israel, they don't feel it, but the weather does change slowly. The evening become much shorter. That's the night become much longer, the day become much shorter, and the weather change. It also become chilly. Certain people wear a jersey. It's not so comfortable to sit in a sukkah. So it's come to tell you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu done it dafka, You know why? So people are not going to have a reason to say, listen, they're sitting in a sukkah as a shelter because it's comfortable for them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, I'm going to start to bring it dafka when the season change and when the rainy season start. Okay, that's according to that. But also a different opinion that I'm going to like to share with you. It's in Psikta de Rav Kahana. What is Psikta de Rav Kahana? Psikta of Rav Kahana, it's an ancient midrash. And he speak about, it's a midrash that speak about different verses in the Torah, about the Jewish festival that we have, and also speak about different idea of Shabbat. That's what Psikta de Rav Kahana, that's ancient midrash, that's what in those three subjects he deal with. And there he explained that why Dafka did HaKadosh Baruch Hu command Bnei Israel to celebrate Sukkot straight after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Why Dafka? And he explained like this, and he says, to understand that, you have to go to the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin. The Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin in page 37, folio 2, tell us something extraordinary. The Gemara there tell us that Galut mechaperet avon. What it means, Galut mechaperet avon, I will translate, that when a person go to Exodus, okay, or to exile, when people go to exile, that's the right word to do, that's doing atonement to his sin. That means, lo alenu, if a person have a judgment against them, and what's doing atonement to it, that has v'shalom is not going to be punished. I don't want to mention the words going to be punished by dead. That's me. So you have to do galut. Galut, that he have to leave his comfort zone, Eretz Israel. So Hazal explains something extraordinary. He say like this. On Yom Kippur, sorry, let's start with Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, we all daven, we all ask, we all been judged. We ask for a good year. We ask for a beautiful year, a year of health and wealth and prosperity. But we have to understand what else. Yom Kippur come, we done atonement to all our sin. And we don't know because we've been sealed. He said that here HaKadosh Baruch Hu done with us a great favor. What is the great favor? If Has v'Shalom on Rosh Hashanah, the day that we've been written, and the day of Yom Kippur, that we didn't been, the day that we've been sealed and been judged, okay? Say HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hazal say, if we Has v'Shalom didn't become unguilty, that means that we still didn't done the right atonement. HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, I'll give you another chance. You know what is the other chance? Hazal say, by that you leave your house, your own comfort zone, and you're moving from your house, from your comfort bed, from your comfort dining room, from your comfort place that you eat breakfast, supper, and lunch, the place that you usually sit and you learn. You're moving where? You're moving to the sukkah. That's considered exile. In the merit of that you're moving from your own comfort zone to the sukkah for 7 days, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will remember that you're going to exile, and that will do atonement to all your sin. And that will change the decree, Has v'Shalom, if there is on a human being. Do you understand? That's Psikta de Rav Kahana. Come the Zohar HaKadosh. The Zohar HaKadosh explains something completely different. And he looked at it from a different level. He looked at it from the secret point of view. And that will help you also to understand just now why there is a different opinion. Should you decorate the sukkah or not? I will get to it also. But first, let's speak about the Zohar. The Zohar say, you know why you're sitting in a sukkah straight after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? He says, what do you do in Rosh Hashanah? We ask for forgiveness. We daven that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will shield us in a book of life, in a book of good health, in a book of good parnasa, good prosperity, abundance of prosperity, health, okay? Physically and spiritually. Said the Zohar Kadosh, Kam Yom Kippur, we fasting, we like an angel. He said that's to prepare us to enter where? The Sukkah. What? Yes, to enter to the Sukkah. Listen to that. Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, born 486 years ago in Tzfat. Listen to what he said, and I'm going to bring also the Ramak. We explained that Ari HaKadosh said that those days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot, those holiness, those days, they have the same equivalent of holiness of Chol HaMoed. Come the Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro. Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro, he born also in Tzfat. His family was from the time of the Spanish Inquisition that they have to fled. From his surname that called Cordoviro, you can understand that many people suggest that they come from the city of Cordova in Spain. But he born in Tzfat, he born close to 500 years ago, 498 years ago. And he said like this, he said that the holiness of the Sukkah is more than a shul. I repeat, the holiness of a Sukkah, Rabotai, listen to it, more than a shul. And he said, how can you say that? He said, I'll explain to you. He said, the shul, it's a rabbinical mitzvah. Nowhere in the Torah it's mentioned shul. He said, but the Torah tells us, Basukot tishvu shivat yamim. It's a decree from the Torah. It's not rabbinical. It's a Torah decree to build a sukkah and to sit on it. He said, that's how you understand that the holiness of the sukkah is more than a shul. Do you understand that? So if the sukkah is more holy, said the Zohar Kadosh, you know how you can merit to enter? After you fast, after you done tshuva, after you behave like an angel, and you prepared yourself, only then you can enter to sit in a sukkah. And that will help you to understand why many people from Hasidut Chabad, and there's other Hasidut, if I'm not mistaken, that doesn't decorate the sukkah because they see that the sukkah is so holy. How can you decorate it? Although most of the poskim paskin against that opinion, and they say, Ze Eli ve'anvehu. That's my God, Ze Eli ve'anvehu, and I must praise him. How do I praise him? Hazal say in the Gemara, for example, if you buy a beautiful lulav, if you buy 4 aminim, you have to buy a beautiful one, a decent one, to look nice. Okay? Not to buy just anything. Buy the best. When you come to do mitzvah, you must do it the best. So that's why we decorate the sukkah. That's why when we enter the sukkah, there's a special holiness. Okay. Come the Rashba. Who was the Rashba? The Rashba was Rabbi, listen to it, Shlomo ben Aderet. Rabbi Shlomo ben Aderet, just to give you a bit of knowledge about him, Rabbi Shlomo ben Aderet, he born, if I'm not mistaken, in Barcelona. Yes, he born in Barcelona, in the city of Barcelona in Spain. He was from the Rishonim. He born 785 years ago. And he wrote commentary on the Torah. And he wrote also commentary on Torah Shebe'al Peh, that's mean Gemarot, this Kushi. And one of the shaila that he asked, he said, wait, I want to understand something. The Torah tells us to sit in a sukkah for 7 days. We brought the source in Sefer Vayikra in Parashat Emor. He said, why are we sitting in a sukkah? In merit that Bnei Israel, when they left Eretz Mitzrayim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, okay, God doesn't put us underneath, inside the cloud of glory. כי בסוכות הושבתי את בני ישראל. So he answered, okay. So in merit of that HaKadosh Baruch Hu put us underneath his guardians, inside the cloud of glory, we need to show that. Okay, you say, I understand that. I have no dispute about that. But my question is, for 40 years, Bnei Israel was in the wilderness. They used also the well of Miriam. They drank from the well of Miriam. I don't understand. How come that we don't celebrate something like this? It's a very, very valid question. So he answered like this. I'm going to make it easier for you. And he said like this. He said, the Torah tells us, and the Zohar bring, and now we're going to link it all together, all what we brought. We said that the Sukkah is very holy. He said like this. Look how the Rashba bring the Zohar, bring Rabbi Eliezer and the Gemara, and how he fit it together beautifully. He said like this. And he bring also the Ramak, the Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro, that he said that the holiness of a Sukkah is more than a shul. How did he give in the Tirutz? How did he give an answer to all of that? Listen what he said. He says that the main reason that you're going into the Sukkah is, and you sit in a Sukkah because the Torah tells us, because only Bnei Israel was allowed to enter the cloud of glory. He said, but if you take the well of Miriam, even the Erev Rav joined to drink from it. What does it mean? That the multi-nation, the Torah tells us, וגם ערב רב עלה איתם, that the multi-nation that left Egypt, that didn't convert, or those that pretend that they convert, what we have today, for example, the reform that's causing us all the problem. One of the major problems that the Jewish people facing is reform, because they want to change our Torah. So he said those people that was the multi-nation not allowed to enter the cloud of glory. He said, where do you learn that? He said, very easy. He said that when Bnei Israel was in the wilderness, who came to fight with him? Who was the first one? Amalek. And he said, who did Amalek kill? The Torah tells us. ויזנב בך כל הנחשלים אחריך. What does it mean? That those that wasn't allowed to enter to the cloud of glory, those the people that Amalek managed to fight and to kill them and to harm them. He said, who was that? Rati HaKadosh say, Erev Rav. That means that who entered the cloud of glory? Only Bnei Israel. The multi-nation, the Erev Rav, that's the multi-nation, was not allowed to enter the cloud of glory. So from here he said, look, you know why you celebrate Sukkot Dafka and not the well of Miriam? Because the well of Miriam, even the multi-nation benefit from it, that they can drink. But to sit in a Sukkah, that it's so holy, to be close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who can benefit from it? Only Bnei Israel. And that will answer what the Zohar HaKadosh say. That straight after Yom Kippur and straight after Rosh Hashanah, that we pure from Averot, that we done tshuva, that we ask for forgiveness. And with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they accepted our atonement and we pure. Only then you can go and sit on such a holy thing. What is it? The Sukkah. The other opinion is to understand why and how come that the shul is less holy than a sukkah. That will explain to you. Why? Because the sukkah is a place that only a Jewish people can enter. It's a place that only a people, that the nation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu can sit in a sukkah. And that's what you see many people don't, when I say many people that understand the halacha, those that don't understand, what can we do? But people that understand the halacha, they're not allowed people that they're not Jewish to enter their sukkah. And now we can understand why we're sitting in a sukkah, Rabotai. And every day you say from Rosh Chodesh Elul until Hoshana Rabbah, we say Mizmor David. And there, what do we say in that verse? That verse, by the way, it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's in chapter 27, am I right? Kaf Zayin. Yeah, Kaf Zayin, verse 5. Look what it said there. Yatspineni besukah, beyom tzara, yastireni beseter oalo. That's David HaMelech saying in his book of Tehillim. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will put me inside his shelter, the sukkah is a shelter, in a day of tzara. Tzara, it's a day of problem. Yastireni beseter oalo. And he will hide me, okay, with his hidden tent. Wait, what did David HaMelech try to tell us? David HaMelech tried to tell us that the sukkah is something that protects us and guards us. What does it mean? And now I would like to understand something. There is a book that's called Yalkut Shimoni. Yalkut Shimoni is it's a midrash that's been written by Rabbi Shimon Ashkenazi. Rabbi Shimon Ashkenazi, a matter of fact, who revealed that who written it, because the beginning not many people knew, it's the Gaon Hida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai. He told us that Yalkut Shimoni been written by Rabbi Shimon Ashkenazi. And Rabbi Shimon Ashkenazi said like this. Listen what he said. By the way, he born in Frankfurt in Germany, from the city of Frankfurt in Germany. And he said like this, that the person that sit in a sukkah in Sukkot, the sukkah will protect them from the war of Armageddon, Milchemet Gog Magog. And the sukkah will protect them from any demon and harming people. Not only that, he come to tell us that the person that sit in the sukkah, enemies can't touch him and can't harm him. Where do you learn that? He said that's the verse that David HaMelech brought. And that's what we mentioned. So now we're understanding how holy is the sukkah and how important is it to sit in a sukkah. And Hazal tell us that the person sit in a sukkah or walk in a sukkah is doing a mitzvah with 600 of Ramah Gidim v'Shisa Evarim, Ramah Evarim Shisa Gidim. That means that with all of his body, he's doing mitzvah. And every minute that he sits in a sukkah, he's doing mitzvah. So who doesn't want that? So we have to understand how holy is the sukkah. The sukkah is something so holy that certain people decide we're not going to decorate it. And we can't laugh on that minhag because they see it very holy. Although most of the poskim and everyone agree that you should honor Kadosh Baruch Hu, Zeh Vehu, that when you make a sukkah, you should decorate it, make it beautiful, make it lovely, that you can enjoy sitting there. That when you sit in a sukkah, you should bring your best cutlery to the sukkah to show the honor. So from here, we learn something extraordinary, Rabotai, that Sukkot, it's not just another festival to sit outside, to smell the fresh air, like many people say, or to feel a bit different. No, Sukkot is a day of holiness. And by Ezrat Hashem, we should merit, as Hazal say, that Rahaman, Yizakenu Lashevet Besukat Oro Shel Leviatan. What does it mean? Rahaman is the Almighty. That the Almighty will merit us to sit on a flesh skin of the well. What well? What are you talking? The well, and that's one of the sources why we decorate the sukkah. What is it? Sukkot Oro Shel Leviatan. The Zohar explained that when the Mashiach comes, going to be a war between a Shor HaGadol, Shor HaBar, the big bull, we don't understand that, it's all mystical, to the great big well. that there's going to be a fight between them, and the tzaddikim will see that. It's going to be a show. And how the bull tried to kill the whale, and the whale tried to protect himself, and how the whale, okay, get harmed, and the whale actually killed also the bull. In the end, both of them going to die. And that flesh of Sukkot Oro shel Leviathan have such a beautiful colors and beautiful picture on it that we don't understand. Ain lo ra'ata. So for me, Chazal, that the Sukkah, what is Sukkah? Is a shelter, that we should decorate it in such a beautiful way, the same like the flesh of the great whale. Because when the Mashiach comes, we're going to sit in Sukkot Oro shel Leviathan. But the Mashiach comes, that means Eliyahu Hanavi gone reveal, going to say, here's the Mashiach. They're going to reveal the Mashiach, and they're going to blow the shofar gadol with a big horn, and then the Mashiach going to reveal himself. Here's the Mashiach. And the Mashiach going to do what everyone tried to do today, but he can't be corrupt. Like the United Nations, like the BDS, all of those that pretend to be nice people. But a matter of fact, not only that they corrupt the anti-Jewish people, anti-Zionist, against everything that the Jewish people try to do to this world. So Be'ezrat Hashem, I'm going to give now time for question. But that Be'ezrat Hashem, I would like to take the opportunity and bless each one of you individually. You, your family, your grandchildren, your children, and Klal Am Yisrael. That we should all merit to sit in Sukkot Oro shel Leviathan. That means to sit in a sukkah that the Mashiach, and to see Mashiach in our eyes. We're so close to it. We are almost in the end of Havle Mashiach. All the great Gedolim say, that's the end of days. There's no more way to go. We can see what a little virus that we don't even see what's doing to the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed you the same like he showed in the 10 plagues. He said that I will show you 50 times more miracle before the Mashiach comes. And here he shows us. Look what he's doing in the world. Airplane can't fly. The city completely shut down. Countries completely in lockdown. Where is it happen? From what? No one knows. Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means, Rabotai, we should take those opportunities those days, especially Sukkot, because a person can get to the higher level of spirituality on those days. And we're all going to be blessed that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless us with health, wealth, please God, a lot of abundance to all what we ask, Parnasa to each of one of the Jewish people all over the world. Health to all the Jewish people, to everyone. That Be'ezrat Hashem, that will merit to see Mashiach Titkenu speedily in our days. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. Now I'm going to give time for question and for comment. Be'ezrat Hashem.
Rav, can I just say something? Thank you so much for what you said about Rav Tenzer. It was absolutely, there are no words, really. You said it from the heart, and no one could have said it better than you. So thank you so much, Rav.
Pleasure. Pleasure. I wish that I can say more what I'm feeling. It's just very difficult to speak. I tell you, emotionally, yesterday I was finished. I didn't know where I am. After I was, because the Rabbi came first to the eulogies. I don't know if you saw it on Zoom. And I just couldn't. After that, I just didn't understand. You know, you look at those walls that, like Rabbi Alon said, understand, listen. He given all of his life to that complex. And today it's not there.
I know.
And I'm only 30 years. You guys know him much more than me.
You know, he spoke in my bar mitzvah. About Tenzer, he spoke in my bar mitzvah, yeah?
Yes, I read you sent me that. I read that. And you know, I felt empty. And I didn't know what to say. I just couldn't. And then Dovi spoke, and I think that it even built more. And then the son-in-law came to speak.
Yeah.
And when the son-in-law finished, the chief rabbi came, and by then I was completely, I
Very
felt like
difficult. Yeah.
I couldn't be there. I walked home, and I didn't know where I'm going. I just walked, and I walked until, I don't know, I was a bit, I don't know how to explain that. It's something that you can't explain. And I felt very, very emotionally affected by it. So please God, the word, the little Torah that we brought today will give Nahat Ruach.
And it's the end of an era, Rav. It's the end of an era, really. We're witnessing the end of an era. Yeah.
It's a big, big change for us. It's an era that we don't know how to face.
Yeah.
You know, to fit those shoes, not everyone can fit. You know, not everyone can understand what he done. We don't understand. No. Please God, he rests in peace in heaven, and he'll have nachas.
Yeah.
And all I wish him that for what he done for other people, those merits will protect them to uplift his neshama to the right, higher level in Gan Eden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen. Guys, if you have any question regarding Sukkot, now it's the time. If you want to ask about Sukkot, if you want to know anything regarding the festival of Sukkot. Yes?
It's Anthony.
Yes, Anthony. How are you?
All right, how are you?
Baruch Hashem.
If it's raining very hard on the first night, do you have to make Kiddush in the Sukkah?
Okay, very good question. If it's a rain, and Hazal explain what it's mean rain very hard. We have to understand the word very hard. If it's rain, that it's actually impossible to sit in a sukkah, that's uncomfortable to sit in a sukkah, and it's uncomfortable to eat in a sukkah. What it means to eat? That the rain actually coming into your food, vegderato, that means that the food actually become uneatable, that you can't eat from it because the rain, you are partly from sitting in a sukkah. That means, number one, you have to understand that there is tsar. Tsar is pain and sorrow, that you're not enjoying it. It's uncomfortable. Number two, that the food that you're eating, it's uneatable because you're drinking soup, for example, and there is rain inside the soup. You can't eat it. Or you're eating rice. Just giving some idea. I don't know what you're eating. Or salad. And the rain falling into it. It's not, it's uneatable. In that case, you can go inside and do Kiddush inside. You follow, Anthony? But if it just
yes,
drizzle,
thanks very much.
But if it just drizzle, you can't find any excuse to leave home to run inside. No. Drizzling is not. Okay, any other question?
So, Rabbi, now with this COVID, so how's it working with the lulav now? Say some people who can't shake the lulav now with the sanitizing, I'd be interested how they do that. If you wanted to give, say,
What?
shake the lulav and etrog.
Why
some people can't get the shul
etrog?
with the COVID now.
What? I never heard about such thing. Why you call shake an etrog?
Yeah, now the sanitizer, say if you give it to somebody and
where did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm not just wondering.
No, if you give it to your friend, for example, and he's worried that you hold it, all you have to do is sanitize your hand. Why? Where is all of this come? I mean, this is. Tell me something. Tell me something. When you go, when you go to work, and you open the handle of the door, the fellow friends or your fellow workers or your colleagues didn't open the door before. So what? I'm not gonna go.
Yes.
I think
crazy
that
times,
I don't know who told you that, but it doesn't. You need to hold the lulav. You sanitize your hand.
Hands before and then.
And when you take from him, you do the same.
Yes, that's the thing. That's also.
Where is it?
Yeah,
I never did it, but okay. But here's the answer how to overcome it. Any other question, Rabota, regarding Sukkot?
Rabbi Levy, Rabbi Tenzer didn't pass from COVID. That was normal. Okay, yeah. I was wondering. Wasn't COVID related, Rabbi Tenzer?
No. From what I heard, that he collapsed because people said that it was a heart attack. But I don't think that anyone knows. That's what they say. He finished his I think supper, and he was walking and he felt dizzy, and the next thing he passed. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not for now. Let's don't speak about it. Yeah. Speaking about Sukkot, we don't know. It's difficult enough just to hear that he's not with us. We don't have to speak. Any other question, Rabota, regarding the Sukkah or regarding the 4 species, if I can answer? And I just want to explain to everyone. Many people go ballistic about the Arbaat Aminim. Arbaat Aminim mideoraita, it's only on the first day. The rest of the day is rabbinical. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he constituted that we should take the lulav and etrog for 7 days. And we see from here that the lulav and etrog is not really something that we go over ballistic. More important is to basically to sit, or how would I say it, to make sure that the sukkah for the 7 days that we're there, that's what we must do.
Lashevet basukah.
Lashevet basukah, exactly. That means that sitting in a sukkah more important, Rabotai, more important than the Arbaat Aminim, especially this year, because the first day of Sukkot is on Shabbat. On the first day of Sukkot that fall on Shabbat, we're not allowed to carry the lulav and the etrog and the 4 species. Why? Because it's muktzeh. You all know, you agree with me?
Yes. Yeah.
And if you can't carry it, the mitzvah will be postponed to Sunday. Sunday is already the Rabbanan, not the Oraita. The Oraita is only on the first day. So Rabotai, don't take the less important and make it important, and the important make it less important. Rabotai, not Chas v'Shalom that I'm saying you shouldn't buy Arbaat Aminim. I bought myself Arbaat Aminim. I try to get the best set that I can. And I try to help some of my Talmidim to get decent set. And I go on and I negotiated with the people that bringing them to the country. I try to, a matter of fact, just for you to understand that we sold the cheapest set of what do you call it? The Arbaat Aminim, we sold it for 628 rand, when usually they sell it for 800 rand, 900 rand. That was the price. The one that we given for 795, people were selling them for 1,200 and some of them for 1,800. Wow. So we negotiate with them to bring a best deal for people to enjoy that it's going to be affordable to buy the 4 species. But remember, this year is Rabbanan. It's not from the Oraita. The Oraita is to sit in a sukkah. The sukkah is more holy than the shul. So don't take what's not so holy and make it less holy. Rabotai, we must focus on Sukkot. We must sit on Sukkot. When you sit in a sukkah, just have in mind that you're sitting in honor of the floor, the 7 cloud of glories. That's one of the mitzvah that we have to do when we're sitting. Liskor, what it means liskor? To remember that the main reason that we're sitting in a sukkah, it's the miracle that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done with us. And that's what we explain. So Rabotai, focus on Sukkot. Enjoy the sukkah with your family. I don't know in Eretz Israel how's it going to work. From what I understand from my dad, it's complete lockdown. No one can come. He cannot go and visit the grandchildren. And so he's now with my niece that's staying with him, and Baruch Hashem, they build sukkah. It's a bit difficult. But Rabotai, even in Eretz Israel, here in South Africa, Baruch Hashem, we're not in lockdown. Doesn't mean that COVID is not here. That we level 1 doesn't mean that it's not here. We still have to take all the precaution. We still have to keep the safety measure. But enjoy the holiness of Sukkot. And that's what was all show about. To understand what is the Sukkah, how holy is the Sukkah. And if when we sit in a Sukkah and we remember that the Sukkah is so holy, and Has v'Shalom, to bring a laptop and to watch movie in a Sukkah, Has v'Shalom. Or some people play games. Sukkah is not a game place. It's a holy place. It's holy than a shul. And if you wouldn't do it in a shul, you shouldn't do it in a Sukkah.
Wow.
Pashut. Rabotai. And that was the main meaning of that show, Rabotai. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we should have all a meaningful Sukkot festival that Be'ezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu redeemed our forefathers, our fathers, our grandfathers from Egypt. And he tried to show us, children, I want you back, but in one condition. Please, do the first step to me. And if we do the first step to the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Pithu li petach kechudo shel mahat. HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked us, just open, do for me a little hole. That means do for me a small step, and I'll do the rest. Ve'eftach lachem petach kepitho shel olam. I'll open everything for you, but do the first step towards me. So let's take that festival, Be'ezrat Hashem, make it holy. And we'll, Be'ezrat Hashem, will merit to see Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen ken yehi ratzon. Rabotai, I bless each one of you individually that you should have a great Sukkot, enjoyable Sukkot, safe Sukkot, and a meaningful Sukkot. And remember, what is the Sukkah? All the best, Rabotai. Have a good night.
Rav.
Thank you, Rav. Thank you so much, Rav.
Okay.
Pleasure, everyone. Have a good Shabbos. Have a good Sukkot.
Thank
Enjoy it. It's a day of
Rav.
enjoyment. We have 7 days of enjoyment. Enjoy every minute. All the best, Rabotai.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Rav.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Good night.